Hey, it's Doug Coy for SoWhatDoYouThink.com here in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Isn't that a gorgeous city? Wow. Hey, we're talking about the war of words. Now, words are powerful. We've been talking about that. They can make you feel loved. Somebody says, hey, I love you, create a nice image. Or they can create the opposite. I hate your guts. That's not a good thing. They can encourage you. Hey, you can do it. Or they can discourage you. Who do you think you are? Why do you think you can do that? You're too old, you're too young, you don't have enough money, all those kind of things. So words are really powerful. They form images. Just think of some of the words that have come to us through things like movies. I mean, the famous movie clips that come out and they become almost like icons in our society. Remember this one, Clint Eastwood?
Go ahead, make my day.
Or they can encourage you. I mean, Martin Luther King Jr. This is amazing what he had to say.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
And of course, there's always the commercials. They're going to sell you a product, using words, quite often using the imagery of sex, kind of like this.
No. The Sony Vaio notebook with inbuilt camera.
So that's what we've been talking about, the power of words. In my own life, I had a man who spoke something into my life. It was the craziest thing you can possibly imagine. He said, one of these days, Doug, one of these days, you're going to be speaking in front of thousands of young people, and I see you traveling around the world. I looked at this guy like he had fallen off of a back of a truck or something, Come on, give me a break. But he said, no, I really believe this. You have a message for the world. Can you imagine somebody saying that to you? Well, it got down inside of me, and after I became a Christian and I was working in a radio station, somebody came up to me and said, you should take your story and some of the illustrations you have, and you should go talk to high school students. And I said, yeah, right. And they said, no, you should do that, really, seriously. And it was in Victoria, British Columbia. A fella by the name of Mel Cooper came up and said, you know what, we'll give you the equipment. We'll give you the sound equipment, all that kind of stuff to use if you'll go out and do it. So I got this call from the Nanaimo Senior Secondary, which is over on the island, and they said, would you come speak to a class? I said, sure, no problem. A class, I can do like 20 students, no problem. 20 students, 30 students, how many are in a class? When I got there, it wasn't just a small thing. It was the whole school, 800 students. It was the first time I'd ever given this speech. I had written this speech, by the way, this was kind of crazy, on the back of a napkin at Denny's restaurant. I just said, what am I going to say? And all of a sudden, I believe it was inspiration. I just started writing, and I got the concept of talking about the war of words and the power of decision making. And what you seep is what you seep. What you reap is because of what you've sown. So that's what I started to speak on. And I was so scared and so nervous, I went into the bathroom and I actually threw up. And I said, I can't do this. But something inside of me said, hey, overcome your fear. What's the worst that can happen? They're not going to kill you. Go out there and speak to those kids. So I walked out and I took the microphone, and I'll never forget it as long as I live. I opened up my mouth and I said, what I want to speak to you about is the war of words. Now, this is not a war fought with guns and ammunition, but this is a war fought with words. And all of a sudden, it just happened. It was like magic. Next thing I know, the group of 800 kids stood to their feet at the end, gave a standing ovation. We had a chance to talk to these kids. It was powerful. They came up, started sharing their lives with me. I was emotionally wrecked in a good way. It was powerful. All of that happened because somebody had the courage to speak something into my life. They saw something that I didn't even see. So, if you're going through something right now, maybe a tough time or things aren't going well, I got to tell you something. I don't believe you're here by accident. I believe there's a purpose for your life. I believe you can do some amazing things with your life. You need to make the impossible possible and get out there and do it. You say, what if I fail? Everybody fails. Everybody fails at something. The people who make it are the ones who keep going, who persist, who say, no, you know what? I've got something in my gut. I think I can do this. I believe I can do this. And start doing it. That's as simple as it is. Write it down, get the vision on paper, and then start to do some action plans and actually start doing that thing that's in your heart to do. You can do it. I believe in you. You can do it. This is Doug Coy, the power of words. I think you're special. I believe in you. You can do it. Have a great day. God bless.